Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Meet the Rams, our last one of the season, probably. But to my right, we have our softball coach, Shannon Gower, and to her right, we have our athletic director, Ricky Dotson. How are y'all doing today?
Good. How are you?
Doing great.
I'm good. I love that y'all are both here and love that we get to have our chat and everything. So, Shannon, to go to you first, I apologize. So last we talked, y'all were about to play Wesleyan. Mm-hmm. Obviously, there's a lot that's happened since then, but I kind of want to highlight kind of a tale of two halves for the season. Obviously, through first four series for the SEC play, you're 12-4. To end it, you go 4-16. Kind of take us into what happened. Obviously, I know you play totally different opponents in those two halves, but kind of take us into that a little bit.
I mean, yeah, I think the way that the conference tailored our schedule, and we told the girls, all year, our back half of the schedule was the hardest part. You had MACU, USAO, OKC, Southwest Christian. And so we knew that going in, and I feel like we also kind of stopped gelling a little bit. When you kind of start losing and you get some frustrations, especially, you tend to have a hard time pushing through. But we lost a little bit of chemistry at the end, and we just played tougher opponents. Mm-hmm. So,
kind of highlighting, like you're saying, you guys lost some chemistry there at the end. I'm sure losing 8 in a row doesn't help. It never does. And so, where did that start? Like, where you kind of see things fade, like where chemistry wasn't like happening as well, and did that affect like y'all not be able to win games late in the season?
I mean, we came playing against USAO, which is a top tier team, mm-hmm. and we won one of them, almost won 2, and so we were good there. And then when we went to Southwest Christian, we were a little off, kind of making some mistakes, not really grooving very well, and it just kind of teetered off from there. Conference tournament, we didn't play our best ability, so we just couldn't kind of bounce back. Mm-hmm. So,
gotcha. Well, on a positive note, so in 2024, you guys hit 289 as a team and everything, and this year you hit 330. Obviously, massive jump. And so, what kind of went into basically jumping up 50?
Yeah, I think that we got the kids that are returning. They kind of knew what to expect in the conference. Some of the ones that got the accolades, they're returners. We got some solid new recruits that came in. Mm-hmm. Kids that just have good softball IQ, that just understand the game. We basically got more talent that helped our program this year. So
nice. Well, Ricky, this question's for you. So for y'all of those who don't know, Shannon has 500 career wins at Texas Wesleyan, which is massive. So, Ricky, I have to ask you, as one of 2 coaches in Texas history to have 500 wins, what's it like having someone like that on your staff?
Well, first of all, it's a great accomplishment. I mean, a milestone that, not many people achieve. Obviously, as you said, we've only had 2 coaches in the history of the school that have done that. So I think, number one, it is a tribute to her work ethic, to the quality that she has brought to that program. And then the longevity. I mean, what have you been here, 19 years, mm-hmm. 18 years?
19.
So I think all of those things go into establishing a record like that. But you look back at it, and she's had really good players. She's done an excellent job of making those things work. Mm-hmm. But it's such a great accomplishment. I mean, 500 wins. I mean, when you think about that number, 500 wins, I mean, I'm sure we have a ton of coaches on our campus right now who haven't coached 500 games. So to have 500 wins is certainly, it's a great accomplishment.
Absolutely. Well, congratulations again on that front. And kind of as Ricky had highlighted, you've had some really great leaders come in here, some great players. Obviously, you had 5 seniors this year. So kind of tell us about who they were, like what they brought to the table, and kind of what you're going to be missing with them being gone.
Yeah, all of them, great softball IQ, great people, so our culture is person over player. So, mm-hmm. We miss the person more than the athlete, more so. But Bates, 3 years with us, very smart, did a great job for us, left side of the plate, outfield. So we're losing that. She's going off to coach at a high school. Devin, 4 years here, hard worker, quick. She basically just played anywhere was needed. Amazing person, teammate. Jay just gets it. She did an awesome job for us this year. She graduates in December, and she was just a leader. Abby on the mound, she's still here working in the English department, graduates next spring. Did I tell you everybody?
I think so.
Dara, another pitcher, she battled back with some things this year and was very resilient working through those things. She just got into nursing school, so they all are taking that next step in life, so we're super proud of them. But
That's huge.
now we just got to fill the gaps.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's a lot to ask for.
Yes.
Especially with everything that they've left behind. But for people still on the field for you guys, y'all had 6 players that were recognized among all conference and everything. 5 actually on the team, 1 honorable mention. So you had Kylie Barnes, Haley De La Rosa, who also won a Gold Glove, and Jalen Ornelas. All made first team, all in the top 15 for batting and everything in the conference. So what is that like for you as a coach, obviously to have that kind of star power, but the fact that Haley and Kylie are both only sophomores?
Oh, it's awesome. I mean, if you go and look at the stats within our conference, especially like USAO, OKC, it's crazy. And to even get into the first team all conference, you have to have a 350 batting average. And so you're competing with, you only get, 4 infield or 5 infield slots, 4 outfield slots, so it's very competitive. And so I was very proud of them. They deserved it. And I'm glad that they were able to get in there and represent the program.
Absolutely. And so you also have on the other side of it, in the second team, you've got Ashley Derelek, Ali Hinojosa, and then Abby Bird was an honorable mention for her second time in her time as a Ram. Kind of highlight like what they brought to the table and kind of how like they've really elevated their game to become part of that second team.
Yeah, I mean, same even second team. You have to have a certain, batting average to even get looked at, and then those that don't make first team, they automatically push over, to second. So it's still very competitive. And Allie's a freshman for us. She came in, did a really good job as a DP, hit really well for us. Ashley was a new transfer for us, leader. She played shortstop, and that's a tough spot. And she held that down, did a good job for us offensively. And Abby has been our main pitcher, her and Kylie, for 2 years. You know what I'm saying? So in a competitive conference. So they've all 3 of them have done a really good job, and they deserve every award.
So where could you guys look to improve your team? Like whether that be some new starters, some more depth. Where does that kind of come from?
Definitely more depth. We have a big graduating class next year. I think we have 7 or 8 graduating. So we have already committed a transfer pitcher, 3 freshmen right now, and then we have a kid on a tour right now. So we're looking at some outfielders, utility, catching, pitching. So that's where we're going to increase our depth.
Awesome. Love that. So Ricky, back to you. Obviously you went to several games this year. So kind of highlight for us as a fan, so to say, what's it like going to watch obviously a massively winning coach and several players who made all conference? Like what's it like watching them on the field? What's the atmosphere like? Kind of give us some insight on that.
I would say it's the most favorite part of my job. I mean, I get stuck in meetings and doing stuff in the office. And so to be able to get out and go watch our athletes in their element, our coaches in their element, doing the things that they really love, I enjoy doing that. I wish I could do it more. But that is the reason we do what we do, right? I mean, is to see these student athletes, see these coaches perform and do the things that they excel in. And so you can't really get that until you go watch them play. And that is the thing for me that I think I enjoy the most about my job. I just don't get to do it nearly as often as I would like to. And then you see them, we're right at graduation. We're going to see some of these kids walk across the stage. I mean, there's a proud moment when you know that you've seen them out there playing and now they're graduating and going to move on into their work life and all of those sort of things. So the graduation is sort of the culmination of all of that, but getting to watch them play is by far the best part of it.
I love that. Yeah. So for both of y'all, I guess my last 2 questions are for both y'all as well. Ricky, I know you don't really have much of an off season per se, but as a coach, like what are y'all's plans this off season, like for each of y'all?
I mean, yeah, we don't have a really, it's crazy because you have summers off, but you really don't. You know what I mean? You're working, you're building, you're planning for next year, but I definitely plan on at least taking some vacation. So I just don't know when. There
you go. Any plan to where?
I'm thinking about Napa.
Okay.
Yeah.
That'll be fun.
Yeah.
Rick, what about you?
The same. I mean, I want to take some vacation time. It's really interesting because over the last several years, the summers have become much more busy than they ever have been before. I mean, for a variety of reasons. But, you know, it slows down a little bit from the game standpoint. But as Shannon said, the planning and trying to get everything ready to go into the next year sort of consumes you. But I'm definitely planning on taking some time at some point, trying to get out of the office. And I think that's important. I mean, I think it's important for, you know, our coaches to recharge. I think it's important for me to recharge, because you can get into a cycle where it's all work and it just turns over and over every day. And if you don't step away from it, I think that it can burn you out. Mm-hmm. So that's sort of my plan. Hopefully I can make it, I can execute that. We'll see.
Absolutely. Well, I know you're quite the golfer, so like how many rounds are you going to be playing this summer?
If I could play every day, I would. That's not possible. But if I can make it once a week, that would be good for me.
There you go.
So yeah, I plan to play some golf. It is sort of my release, and so if I can do that, I'll be good.
Absolutely. So my last question to you both. Obviously, you'll both been here for several years. Is there a time that you've seen like where that's like your defining moment of like either as a coach, as an AD, where like that's going to stick in my head for a long time and be like my forefront of like my time here at Texas Wesleyan?
What do you mean?
Like, has there been a moment there like you look back on no matter what and you just have a giant smile on your face? Like whether that be like your first win or like when you got hired on, like when you were a player here, that kind of thing, or yeah, just curious.
I don't know. I think for me, like, and maybe I'm not answering the question correctly. For me, you know, I went to school here, played here, and then coaching here. It's been awesome just to see the growth. It's been awesome to be around the people that are still here, like Ricky, Kevin, you know, things of that nature. And I think the thing that makes me smile the most, honestly, is seeing your kids succeed. And not necessarily on the field, it's just seeing what they do in life after college, because now they're not a kid anymore. They are adulting and they're in the real world, and that's the neatest part about it. That is my favorite, and signing a new kid is my favorite. So,
love that.
Yeah.
I think defining moment was not necessarily that much fun, but it was getting through COVID. I mean, that whole situation was extremely difficult on our entire department, and the way our coaches handled it, the way our athletes handled it, I couldn't be more proud of the way that went. I mean, that was a very difficult time. But when I look back, and the happy moments are obviously, just like Shannon said, seeing our kids graduate, seeing them succeed on the field. I mean, winning championships. We want to, you know, national championships stand out because obviously what that means. And so since I've been sort of in the AD spot, we won a national championship in golf, which was great. Basketball won a national championship right as I was coming on. But then all of the conference championships and all of the milestones like the 500 victories, those things stand out, you know, when you start looking at the day-to-day stuff. But I think the thing that I'm most proud of, and kind of like I said with COVID, is just what our coaches have been able to do and what our athletes have been able to do, really in facing adversity and just the things that come at you every day and being able to persevere and move through that. That's the thing that I think I'm most proud of.
Yeah, I love that. I love getting to hear all the positivity and everything. And obviously, a lot of those like good feeling moments, it's going to last for a long time. It's going to last a lifetime. But that's all I have for you guys. Thank y'all so much for being here and talking to me and answering all my insane questions and everything. But thank you guys so much for tuning in this entire year, and we'll see you next fall.